So Joe, you came to the Past Life Regression Workshop at Unity yesterday,
Yes.
and what were you expecting when you came?
I really didn't know what to expect. It's been about 15 years since I was regressed once before.
Uh-huh.
And I figured, okay, I'm just open to whatever you have to do.
Wow. And so we did the first hour, an informational. Did you learn things that you didn't know before?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I didn't get that from the people that did me before.
Oh, okay.
We had a very little conversation.
What stood out for you the most that I talked about? What rings in your mind?
You're being so flabbergasted about all the things that happened through you.
Yeah.
That impressed me.
Oh.
It's not like you're trying to be a star. You were letting the regression be the star, and you're just sitting back and enjoying it.
Yeah, I do. You know I always do that. So when you were regressed, we did that for a 50-minute group session, and everybody laid down everywhere. And so what was your experience?
At first, I didn't think I was doing anything. So I thought I just laid there and figured, okay, I'll just let this happen. And then I must have fallen asleep because you wiggled my foot.
Right.
And about that time, you started talking about the tunnel. And I said, whoa, look at that. I was going into almost this color,
Uh-huh.
a little softer. And I was in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm really doing this. But I was me at this particular time and place.
Right.
And then when you said, go on and stop wherever you need to stop, I stopped in a large city. I don't even know what city it was. On the street, looked down, checked my shoes. They were brown. Turned out I had on a khaki military uniform. And just looked around, and I found out it was 1917. I didn't need to be told that. I just knew it. Like
Right.
I know today is 2011.
Right.
And there were women walking around on the street, mostly women, in flower dresses and little hats.
So as I would ask the questions in the group setting, the answers just automatically came to you. Did you intuit them? Did you see them? Did you hear them? Because people do it all different ways.
I was there.
You were just there.
And I was watching what was going on.
Right.
And then I realized that I was in the service. And by the time I realized that, it was time to move on.
Okay.
So I went to a kitchen. And the one thing that made me almost laugh was I realized, man, this is some ugly furniture. Right after war, we were lucky to have any furniture.
Yeah.
It was First World War.
Yeah.
But I looked around and you said, try to see somebody's eyes. And my grandmother just came right into the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't recognize her at all, but I recognized her eyes. She was so young.
Oh, wonderful.
And she just smiled at me, and it was time to move on again.
Yes.
And I was sitting in church, and I had 3 little kids sitting right beside me, and I knew they were my kids. I don't even know if they were boys or girls, because all I saw was the top of their heads. And she says, move on again. It's time to go to check your desk. You're not going to feel it, but you're going to observe it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I was in bed,
Mm-hmm.
in my own home, and I wasn't afraid.
Mm-hmm.
But you said it's not going to hurt, and it did hurt. I got a pain in my chest about that time.
And that's when you have to step back out again. Yes, and observe. Right.
But I wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we were coming back.
Yeah. Well, I had your soul lift, and then you saw who greeted you, and so was it?
Yes, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
When I was being greeted, it was Bobby. He was my partner for 25 years.
Right.
He's already gone on.
Right.
And he didn't. I wanted to hug him, and he just pointed and he said no. He was smiling, but he said you got to keep going.
And so maybe that was a message for you to just keep on going with your life.
Yes.
Just not get stuck any place in that. But it was so wonderful seeing him again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. So was it everything you expected and more?
More.
More?
Because I didn't look for a meaning in the first time I was ever regressed.
Oh.
And you asked what I learned, and I stopped and thought about it, and I realized that everything I saw in my life in 1917, I was mediocre. I didn't appreciate love. I didn't appreciate what God had already given me. I just took everything for granted and sailed through life.
Mm-hmm.
So this time I'm looking around and seeing all that I've got and all that God's given me.
Oh.
And it's wonderful.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimonial.
Oh, you're
It
welcome.
so many that have a little discomfort or unsureness about going forward, and so this is wonderful.
If any of them ask you, tell them not to try to do it.
Yes.
Just let it happen.
Let it flow.
Because I was pretty sure I wasn't going anywhere.
Thank you, Joe.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Thank you.